record, just tell me to start. What? Oh. Hello everybody, you're back again to Yeye Kudi live. We thank God for another life. We thank God for today. Due to popular demands, a lot of people have been able to call me and they are asking for the part 2 of the bitter truth about in-laws. And I was wondering, why is it that everybody is so concerned about in-laws? Why the stress, the tension, the demands? Why so much demand for it? I was forced, when I got calls, and I got because to God be the glory now, people call me from all over, telling me about secret things, about things that I'm even shocked myself that, is happening to people, and things that I can't even believe that when I hear them, it will not break my heart. But, to God be the glory. I think this is what God has called me to do, so I've been able to hear different stories. I've been able to hear different things. I mean, it's not really nice to use the word story because it doesn't make you feel that you're feeling the pains of other people. But, I've been able to hear about different people's pains, stress, about this in-law, bitter truth about in-laws. Now, in part 1 of bitter truth about in-laws, I was able to talk about how badly, we talked on the paternal side of every home, whereby there's so much, maltreatment from mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws towards a daughter-in-law, or slight. And I think it's an ongoing thing. It's been happening a long time and it's still going on. But the purpose of Yeye Kudi Live is that so that people know that they are not alone. These things happen to everybody. Even to the funniest part is the people doing it to you, they are bound to experience it as well in their matrimonial home. And what baffles me is that the people experience, like me now, I'm in a marriage. The fact that I know, what bothers me is that, like, I am a sister-in-law to some people. My mother has boys, men, and they are all married. All my brothers are married. And because I know how I want to be treated, I treat my sister-in-laws with love, care, attention, respect, most especially. But it bothers me a lot that a lot of people that experience this, they still do it to their brothers' wives, even when they don't want it to happen to them. Now, let me go straight to what I want to talk about in this part 2. We talked about a few things in part 1. In this part 2 now, I just want to elaborate. I just want to give another part. When we were growing up, we find out that many of our fathers, fathers, great-grandparents, you hear that they are polygamists. You hear from, or you see that they are polygamists, and you find out that most of the time is because either a mother-in-law or a sister-in-law does not like a wife. So when they bring their friends, some of the sister-in-laws will go and bring their friends to come and either marry their brothers, so that the man will now end up, just because they want to get at the first wife, they will go and bring their friends. If they don't bring their friends, if their brothers is the type that fornicates or is an adulterous person, they will encourage their brothers, as a sister-in-law, they will encourage their brothers to either marry a second wife or a third wife, or even impregnate people, all because they want to get at the wife. I tell you the truth, I have learned one thing about life, and that is a lot of we women, because of the popular demands, I want to just advise, then I will go into it again. I think most mothers, most wives, they should understand one thing. Even though we believe that they will reap what they are sowing, I want us to calm down. Why I'm saying this is that, why not be a mother rather than a wife? I am not teaching you against your husband, but a lot of times when they don't like a wife, mother-in-laws don't like a wife, or sister-in-laws don't like a wife, or brother-in-laws don't like a wife, they encourage their brothers to either go and impregnate people outside just to get at the wife, or they will either know, maybe they encourage their, maybe they used to know their brother's girlfriend that he has maybe dated a long time ago. They encourage them, veer them. Some sister-in-laws will encourage ex-girlfriends to come and still be seeing their brothers because they want to keep the housewife miserable. Either, you know, when they'll just be saying, they'll be the one to even be connecting their brothers to ex-girlfriends or their friends that their brothers have dated before. It's a crazy world, but you know one thing I want to advise wives on, because I know that is where you people want me to hit on. You know one thing, go and look at a lot of polygamous homes. At the end of the man's life, he ends up hating his family. Leave them. Don't fight with them. You, wife, I am advising you now. Don't bother yourself. Because polygamous home, hardly will you see any man that lives long. Even when he lives long, he suffers during the end of his life. Because a man that encourages, you know, that they've pushed during his mid-age, 40, 30, 50, to go and do polygamist, to be a polygamist, at the end of the day, their money don't last. Especially those that are rich amongst them. If you notice, when in a home where that maybe the man is rich, or they just want, the man is able to just, you know, be to fend for them, when they encourage him, they cut short his life. I want to advise wives that when situations like this arise, remember in your head that you have to stay long on earth to be the mother of your children. One. Secondly, you have to remember in your head that it is better to be a mother than to be a wife. Fine, you are a wife, understandably. Keep your cool. They that led their brother or their son astray, they will be the ones that they will fight later. And they end up regretting it. Sincerely, I have never seen a polygamous home that during the end of their life, a lot of the mothers just gain their tenure of their children. They abandon the men. Fathers don't enjoy their children in polygamous home. Go and ask any man that is over 60, 70 that is in a polygamous home. I'm telling you. Because the mothers, because of the suffering they've suffered, they teach their children against their father. This is because polygamous home, no matter how much the man is rich, you cannot take care of your children equally. It brings up enmity. Again, you cannot certify the wives equally. All this the children will be saying, and they use it against their father during the end of his life. Leave them. When people are encouraging their brothers or their sons, and most of the time the mothers that do it is because they too suffered it before. Majority of these mothers that encourage their children to be polygamists is because they suffered and they are trying to get back. It is anger. They are transferring aggression on their sons' wives because they experienced it. They think that other people too must experience it. And for the sisters that do it, they end up being enemies. End of their life, they will be enemies. You don't fight them. My own part is that you should go on your knees and be praying that God should keep your life, keep you alive to be the mother of your children. I'm telling you, it is better to be a mother than to be fighting to be a wife, especially for a home, especially for in-laws that don't like you. I'm advising you as a wife, because when I heard calls and I heard, you know, people telling me, oh, you did not go about people, some sister-in-laws will go and be bringing their friends to come and be dating their brothers, or to go and they'll go and be, you know, allowing their brothers to go and marry outside, or be encouraging polygamy. I said, yes, that is something we can't stop. That is a situation that has been and to forever be. And this is because they don't like the housewife. So they are doing everything to destroy that home. But at the end of it, you sit back and watch. Sit back. Don't get yourself worked up as a wife. Don't get yourself worked up, because in the end, you will see. It's either they cut short the life of their son, or at the end, the man, no matter how rich you are, you enter polygamous, you end up being you die a poor person. Go and ask anybody. Money that you are supposed to use to feed maybe 5, 6, 3, 2 children, when you use it for 20-something children, or 18 children, or 13 children, I tell you the truth, it cannot go round. poverty will set in. At the end of the day, they suffer it most. A lot of these men that die, anyhow, is due to polygamy. But when their family encourage it, you sit back so that you can be the mother of your children. Forget about being a wife at that point in time. Later on in life, they realize, but it may be too late for those men. I just want to say, when we address things like this about polygamy, I hope that we change. Sister-in-laws, what will be your gain? Because you don't like your brother's wife, you are encouraging your brother to be a polygamist. At the end of the day, enmity will set him for it, because towards the end of his life, he will realize that you people hate him. Mothers, mother-in-law, what will be your gain if you allow your sons to be polygamists? At the end of the day, it will be your own loss, because when the man starts spending money on children and different women, they won't take care of you. Then later on, you are just going to be the one suffering, mother-in-laws. So I'm just saying, brother-in-laws, you too, you are fighting your sister-in-laws, because you don't like her, you're doing all kind of funny things. You are only wasting your time. The truth of it is, learn to love your your sister-in-laws. Just learn to love her, however way she is. She came from another home. So therefore, it is your duty to love her. And if you cannot love her, you encouraging your brothers to go and marry or go and pregnant people or go and be encouraging them to ruin their life. It will only cost short their life, and that is going to be you people's business. Mother-in-law, I hope you are watching. Sister-in-laws, I hope you are watching. Brother-in-laws, I hope you are watching. I'm a sister-in-law, and I know how I treat my sister-in-laws. I know how I treat them, because I know how I feel when I see a situation where my sister-in-laws are nasty. So therefore, I would not want a situation where I would treat other people like that. Thanks everybody. I hope I've been able to get across clearly and soundly. It will be very nice if we can be able to keep our home, to keep our life, to keep our situation, to manage it nicely and coolly. It will be good if you do good to your sister-in-law. Sister, are you a wife? I want you to be encouraged. That sit back. If you are going through that, go on your knees and keep praying. But I will advise you, be a mother rather than fighting to be a wife. It is good to have a husband, but don't be desperate that you must rather be a wife. It is good you are in a matrimonial home. Take your eye from everything that you see. They are all going to regret it in the nearest future. I have seen thousands, millions. It's still happening in Africa. Go to Africa and you will hear how they end up being enemies. Because the men realize that his family ruined his life. Bye for now. Please watch out for all my programs. This is Yeye Kudi Live. # Real Talk. We just talk real thing. We are very realistic. We are not after anything, rather than just learning and making sure that we are able to protect, guide, and live life successfully. And everything that I say is not to harm anybody, but to help us and to guide our life. Bye for now. Bye. Mama. Oh.
When I want to do it.
Just quickly do it, because you don't know how to edit it.